Traders from around the world, what's going on? Holla at your boys, me, Jerremy Newsome with RealLifeTrading.com. Holy Moses. Whoa, what a day today. Oh my goodness. So the market down almost 2%. The IWM actually is down 2%. And the comical thing about that is we discussed this semi-jovially is jovial a word? I don't think that's a word. Semi-ironically? Is ironically a word? Ironically is a word. I might be using it in the wrong context. You guys get what I'm saying. Yesterday in the afternoon trading room, a good friend of mine in Boston, Justin, was mentioning an article on Yahoo Finance. In fact, let's just bring up the recording from yesterday's afternoon swing trading room. I think you guys will really get a kick out of this.
This might be the setup. It will be the setup if it can trade sideways 2 more days. That I can tell you. Justin said, headline on Yahoo, almost nothing can stop this bull. I guess that headline will do it, LOL. Oh, no. Shoot. You're totally right. We're going to have a 2% down day tomorrow, probably. Is that on Yahoo Finance? Oh, no. Almost nothing can stop this bull market. Oh, geez. Here it is, guys. 2% down day tomorrow. What could derail the markets? Probably nothing. It's funny because I had a friend post a comment that said something a little similar today. I think people are feeling the bullishness. I don't know. We'll see, guys. We'll see. I've mentioned before in the past, in the time that we're going to get a quote-unquote recession, pullback, bear market, whatever you want to call it, it's not going to happen until there's a euphoria. Right? Remember, I've been saying that for about 2.5, 3 years. Around the corner, we're preempting the euphoric state right now. I haven't gotten the phone call from the one person I thought I'd get the phone call from yet, but it's going to happen. And when it does, I'll let you guys know. But people are starting to get euphoric in their bullishness. And right around that time, we could just have a slowdown. It doesn't have to be a giant market crash. It can just be a slowdown, which would be really good for option sellers, except the VIX is almost at an all-time low. Speaking of, we'll look at it in just a second.
So I said that kind of like, yeah, we're probably going to have a 2% down day tomorrow. The unfortunate thing is that recording was after the market is closed, right? It's 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I didn't get a chance to have any puts. If I had saw that headline at market open, I would have bought some puts. That is a contrarian view 101. The market gap down today was so flawless. There were so many bearish opportunities today. It was unbelievable for any of my active day traders. Check out SPY. I mean, you're talking one of the biggest ETFs, if not the biggest ETF in the world. Black candle gapping down. Look where this thing opens. I mean, right below this wick, right below that pivot of that candle, right below this support, breaking that level. Everybody's trapped. So people on the SPY trapped like kings in a crusade. Here's the 5-minute chart. And TradingView's been doing that weird thing recently. Let me pull up this 5-minute. Give me a second. So it's a retest gap, right? Black candle gapping down. So black candle gapping down, what would you expect? You would expect to play this as or on a retest. So there's your nice bullish candle on a 5-minute, which I really like. And so here's really when people start playing the SPY bearish. Here's the pre-market lows right there. Break down that pre-market lows and shabam. There's a retest, right? That is the retest, or at least one of them on the SPY. The other one, of course, right here, obviously. If you turn off the extended hours, you'll see a lot of good retest. Amazing, 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 amazing. A lot of bearish action. So many good trades today. So that's the SPY. Here's the IWM. IWM, not really any different. So the IWM actually is down 2%. 2.5%. Again, the only reason I'm laughing is just because, again, that headline, this was an even better gap than the SPY. Look at all the support right here that the IWM has taken out. So I am in a bull put spread. Granted, it's pretty far away, 131 to 130. You never know, though, of course. Here's the long-term moving averages, and based on today's gap, I got into a bear call spread also, 144 and 144.3. So I'm in an iron condor on the IWM. But notice it's a black candle gapping down. That upper shadow right there, that is the retest, right? It's a retest gap. And again, if I hop in here to a 5-minute chart on the IWM, I mean, honestly, folks, you can see this on so many charts today. Here's the 5-minute charts. 5-minute chart, and big white candle. Broke the low of that candle. It retested. In fact, this upper shadow right here, again, I mentioned to you, was the 100 simple moving average on the daily. Also, old pre-market support, new resistance. Anyway, some beautiful, beautiful rollovers. Snagged an R on the day. Could have done a little bit better, but I had a coaching session this morning and was helping a trader walk through some of these trade setups as the market was happening. So we had a really good time. But yeah, snagged an R on the day. The winning streak continues, the very, very rare winning streak. Very humbled and blessed to be a part of that, but at 13, a little bit over 13 R's on the month. So IWM doing its thing. In fact, I'll just show you some of the day trades because as a reminder, the day trading classes are coming up for free. Make sure to check your inbox for those links. More information on the way if you have any questions. But here's the WBA. Feel free to take a picture of this gap as one of the most glorious retest gaps of all time. This thing is so picture perfect. I mean, really, you could print this out. I mean, truly, you probably should print this out, put it on a wall somewhere. If you want to play a bearish retest gap, this is it. Look at this thing. Black candle gapping down, so it's a good gap, nothing too crazy. Opens at the 200 and falls a little bit. So here's the 5-minute chart. Now, if you can't see this retest, email me, let's do a coaching session together, and let's really, really help you, show you what a retest looks like and how to get in. I'm not going to pull up any moving averages, but let's just look at this chart for just a second and see if we can determine where that retest is. And then I'll pull up the moving averages and I'll show you. But right, a retest gap, you're looking for a pattern like this. You're looking for the sellers to come in, and then you're looking for the buyers to start buying to cover. And then you're also looking for some people buying to cover to get its stock at a discount, stock to roll up. And then everyone who shorted before starts to short again. And then anyone who didn't get out bullish is going to get out there for a less than that we're going to get in here. I mean, beautiful. Look at this moving average, 10-minute chart. 10 exponential moving average trades right into the 10 on the 5-minute. You get this nice evening star reversal pattern. I mean, that is it. Picture perfect, picturesque, flawless, gorgeous, wonderful in every way. JP Morgan, another phenomenal gap on JP Morgan. Check out this thing on the daily chart. I actually missed this one by 3 cents. But this is a bearish gap and go. White candle gapping down. So this one you're going to be a little bit more aggressive on. I think JP Morgan really could continue down a little bit farther. In fact, I'll be keeping my eyes on just that occurring. We have a really good support resistance right about there. This is a nice bearish gap on JP Morgan, and there are some people out there, I might be one of them, who thinks this looks a little bit like a head and shoulders pattern on the weekly chart. Yeah, kind of does on JP Morgan. Here is your daily long-term moving averages, and again, we have a nice bearish gap and go. 200's pretty far away. I'm interested to see what happens on JP Morgan, but I'm presently not very bullish on it. Charles got over 3 R's on this trade. Jason K got a great trade on this one. This was actually one that I did post in our social media platform. Let me hop over here to that. Give me 6 seconds just to show you. I missed this trade. I caught another trade on NVIDIA, but here was, again, a lot of chatter. There always is. Always updates, always day trading, tons of stuff going on. Scrolling. This was actually before, just a few minutes after market open. Let me figure this out. Sorry, we post a lot of updates. We want to make sure that people know exactly what we're doing, what we're trading, and why. There it is. JP Morgan day trade. Here's the one that I posted at 8:58 Central. So about 28 minutes after market open. So I want to get in at 85.74 with a stop at 86.07. And again, all I was doing is looking at shorting at that previous old support, new resistance. And as I was filling it, the stock broke, right? Broke lower. It would have been above my price, and I was hoping to get filled. I was hoping for this to happen. It just never quite did. So 85.74 was where I want to get on JP Morgan. So here is the 5-minute chart, and we'll pull up, again, here's the pre-market. So the high of this candle, 85.69. Missed the retest by a dime. Not even a dime, a nickel. Sorry, I'm bad at math. 5 cents, a nickel. Beautiful job, great trading for those who got a chance. So here's the Jason's posted Let me hop over here. So Jason said, got out 2.5 R, 2.8 R on that trade on JP Morgan. He's had a little bit of a different setup than I did. So anyway, awesome trade. Some phenomenal stuff, some good movers out there. A lot to keep an eye on. We have a lot of requests today. Again, this is going to be a long stock review. Sorry. Here's AT&T on the daily chart, down 2%. AT&T, GE, Verizon. A lot of these really, really big blue chip stocks are coming into some support levels. Now, you'll notice here's the weekly chart on AT&T. This is a trade that I'm not going to take personally, but AT&T, Verizon, and GE, very strong blue chip, dividend paying, buy low, sell high stocks. They're on a discount. It's not going to move quickly. It's not going to move beautifully. It's not going to be a moneymaker overnight. But if you're looking at playing AT&T, GE, or Verizon, these are all ones that were requested. They are coming into a buy level. So here's GE. 28, 22 is the support that I had. It broke right through that with a bearish gap and go just the other day. So here's a white candle gapping down. So here on the 12th of May, it was a pretty good bearish gap, and then today it kind of continued. So if you are in GE long term, awesome. I don't think these 2 or 3 days are going to really have any bearing or impact, but yeah, it's at a pretty good buy up point right about now, honestly. And so is Verizon. So could they go a little bit lower? Yes. And again, I'm not going to take the trade personally. This is a trade that a lot of traders were watching on Verizon, never got triggered in. I'll show you, this is the one that, this goes back all the way to Real Life Trading Class 1 beginner series. You got this beautiful one white soldier candle right here at a support. And I was like, hey, if we get above 46.78, great long-term buy low, sell high, dividend paying blue chip stock setup. That was the entry. Well, it just never went higher than that one white soldier. So I and all of the traders looking at it never got triggered in. So there you go. Here's ticker symbol F, Ford. They're laying off about 10% of their workforce. And I think someone knew that news a little early. So Ford's been selling off. There's a big, big triangle coming in on Ford. My 2017 target on the stock is $9, which would be a pretty big sell-off for it. I don't know for sure if that's going to happen, of course. But Ford, longer term, again, another dividend-paying blue chip stock. But I think it could slowly slip lower overall. Let's go look at ticker symbol RHT, Restoration Hardware. And Restoration Hardware, got it. It has retested as of right now. So Restoration, a big gap down today, and it is now doing the longer term retest. So I drew this in a few weeks ago, actually during the spring portfolio. I mentioned that if you're looking at playing Red Hat, wait for this retest to come in. Well, the retest is here. So now that it's happening, feel free to watch it, keep an eye on it, and see if you can play it bullish. CMI, Cummings, not a lot happening on CMI other than a kind of a cute little bearish gap today. Here's a weekly chart on this stock, and the reason that we're selling off and the reason the gap is not working as great as it should, you got this rock solid resistance right there, 160 back from 2014. Pretty much about the same time of the year too, right about May. When was this? Yeah, June, May 2014. That was the resistance, and that's why Cummings is trading down a little bit. You did have a bullish gap and go, but a gap into resistance at an all-time high. So it's breaking lower. Today's bearish gap is a little bit of a gap down, so I would expect CIMI to slowly trade a little bit lower based on that gap. Now, the weekly options newsletter, ticker symbol WYNN. There were some traders who got triggered into this, and you lost a little bit less than an R. Apologies. So I set this weekly options newsletter set up just yesterday after market closed, and then I emailed and posted on our Slack channel at about 8:15 this morning to cancel that trade. So other than canceling it for you, there wasn't anything I could really do, unfortunately. So let me scroll up on this one. Scrolling. What time was it? It wasn't in the morning. Give me 6 seconds. All right, right here. So 8:09 a.m. Central, 9:09 Eastern. Cancel weekly options newsletter. This gap is too bearish in the market to have this bullish set up right now. And I also sent out an email at 8:16. And other than going into your broker and canceling it for you, that's the best that I can do. And those things are going to happen, right? These gaps will absolutely happen. The good news is if you did take the weekly options newsletter setup, we had a 210 limit buy, and the open of the option was $1.70. So you would have lost less than an R. And also in the weekly options newsletter, I said go either 2 or 3 contracts. This particular one, I would choose 2. So I was going, hey, let's lessen our risk. So overall, the amount of traders who did get traded in, about 20% of the weekly options newsletter subscribers did get triggered in. And if you did and you lost less than R, congratulations. I'm glad your stopped worked. I will be delivering another one. Those things happen, and I did my best to get people out of that trade before it got triggered in. Sorry if you didn't get that email or that update fast enough. But Win Resort, yeah, that's a very, very bearish gap. Now, I could have day traded this one as well. So again, with that information, strong gap, it was a bearish gap and go. This is the 5-minute time frame, and look at this pre-market support level breakdown right there. Breakdown. Come on, give it to me. Here's a small little white candle right there. Oh, geez. Entry would have been there. Stop could have been right about there. That's an easy 2-3R. That would have been a huge return on an option trade, too. Oh, man. I'm so excited about these day trading classes. Hope you guys are, too. Let's go look at price line. Took some PCLM. Price line had a nice gap 2 or 3 days ago. Well, maybe a little bit more than that. And it's pulling back to retest its all-time high, and it really needs to. Here's ZIOP. ZIOP, Zio Farm Oncology, really is just trading very, very sideways. And I forget the trader who requested this, but you got a really good resistance here on ZIOP. You got some higher lows coming in. So I could see the bullishness. I can see the volume coming in. Those are all good things. If you're looking at playing ZIOP, one of two ways. Either buy low, sell high, so let it trade back down here and buy it at a discount. Or buy it if the stock breaks into that, breaks above that resistance. Here's Target. Target came out with earnings today. Had a nice gap. It was a bullish gap and go, but with the bearishness of the market, it just never held strong. So it is still a bullish gap, even though today's candle is bearish. I will be watching Target to break above 57.12 with the stop at 55 if you're looking at playing it bullish. What will be phenomenal is if we could trade sideways for 2 or 3 days and then pop above it. I like it a lot. Target, there's a lot of traders buying shares longer term at these price levels. I'm not personally one of them, right? Only because I can't own or be in everything, but this one's a really nice one to keep your eyes on, bullish long term. Walmart, earnings right around the corner. Not too long ago, we did a 77.50 covered call for May. That's this Friday, and we'll see if that expires worthless. If Walmart gaps down to the 73.20 area, I think that's a great buying opportunity. If we gap up right above the high of last week, so if we open here at 77.15, that'll be a very bullish gap on Walmart. And if we gap into 79.10, I think some people will look to sell at that pretty strong resistance basin that was created from this channel back in 2013, 2014. We got to keep going faster. Here's Amazon. Took some AMZN. Amazon, here's the daily chart. We had a few traders with a bull put spread that expires this week. Looks like our timing was spot on. We had a new all-time high yesterday, and again, just like that recording, the bulls were just on fire, and usually when that happens, usually when that euphoria picks in, that's a great time to be either in cash or to be selling and locking in profits or just to be patient, because when that euphoria sets in, it is a trap every single time. Gorgeous one black crow in Amazon. How far will this gap cause Amazon to go? I'm not really sure, honestly, but probably into the 20 EMA or maybe into the 50. I'll be watching this bull put spreads here for Amazon, but those should expire just fine this upcoming Friday, and then I'll be watching Amazon to do another setup. Here's MU. We had an iron condor on Micron Technology, another phenomenal bearish gap and go today. So the iron condor on MU should expire worthless. It's at the 50 at this particular time. Actually, crazy as it sounds, to watch to buy the dip. Duncan, took a symbol DNKN. And if my theme of the market review today is more bearish, keep in mind, a lot of these stocks, I am saying, look to buy the dip. Yes, today is selling, but I'm not really all that bearish. Duncan Brands, I don't see anything on Duncan. This is the daily time frame. Here's the weekly. 53.48 is a really big resistance. This is Chop City, and right now, let Duncan pull back into that 53 area, and if it does, look to buy the dip around that point. TRCO is another stock that was requested. Tribune Media, and this is a fun one. So Tribune Media had a really good gap not too long ago. This is the weekly time frame, and here's a really, really good resistance. Great resistance. We got above it. It was a white candle on a weekly chart gapping up. So that's a retest gap. What do? We retested. So weird. It's so strange how this stuff works. So TRCO, here's the daily time frame. We are, in fact, retesting that retest gap. So it was a retest gap on the daily and the weekly. So we're here. So So now you just simply have to figure out how you want to play that retest. Do you want to just buy here and hope it bounces? Do you want to place an entry above 41.53 and then get in bullish there? Or do you want to pull back a little bit more, or do you want to sell a put? Whatever you're looking to do, here is the retest. It's here. Time is nigh. Feel free to keep an eye on Tribune Media and watch it closely. Twitter, TWTR hit a really good resistance yesterday, 1963. That was one of my main targets, this purple line, and you'll notice this resistance goes way back. Really, really good resistance level. Nice one black crow today on Twitter. Twitter's going to hang out at that resistance for a little bit longer. AMD ended up bouncing nicely off the 200 simple moving average. Had a bracket trade on AMD because it was at the 200. You had a gorgeous high wave candle here on the 3rd of May, and that's what helped us create that bracket trade. So for the traders who got a chance to profit on AMD the last 3 or 4 days, congrats. If you got out and you sold at the 100 simple yesterday on AMD, give yourself a high five. You were awesome. We got 2 more. Baidu, it's on the verge of breaking out. We were looking at potentially taking this as a weekly options newsletter trade just yesterday. My good buddy Luis is in a trade on this one, and Luis, I hope it turns around for you, man. But I'm watching Baidu really over the next 2 to 3 days, next week or two, for either a bullish directional trade as it looks like it's breaking out of this weekly triangle, and or maybe some credit spreads. Baidu, one of my nemesis stocks, so I'm doing my best to make some money on that one to cut the losses. And last but not least, here's Caterpillar, and Christopher had a really good bull put spread expiring this week, 99.9850, expiring this Friday. And is it this Friday or is it next Friday? Yeah, I think it's next Friday. So white candle, gapping up. There was a retest gap. What did Caterpillar do? We retested and then we bounced nicely. So great bull put spread, Chris. If that does expire this Friday, you know, we're getting a little bit close. It's kind of trading down a little bit. So feel free, if you are profitable on that, you're welcome to go ahead and close that bull put spread if you haven't done so already on Caterpillar. A lot of things to look at, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be back Friday, though. It's only 2 more days. So if you have a stock that you want to request, feel free to email me, Jerremy@reallivetrading.com, or you can post in the YouTube channel in the comment section below. I'll be back Friday. Day trading classes are coming up. They're free for the world. Make sure you register and subscribe for that. It doesn't cost a dime. And I'll teach you guys, each and every one of you, exactly how you can take advantage of days just like today, because there were so much money to be made today. It was insane. I loved it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you Friday. And until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. Bye.